So if I had to start from zero and become a millionaire in 26, I wouldn't chase investments or trends. I would focus on building the ability to generate serious income first. But in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I would do, step by step, how I'd increase income fast, the exact service business I'd build, how I'd scale it to $100,000 per month, and how I'd turn that into real net worth. This isn't motivation, it's a complete execution blueprint themselves. If I had to become a millionaire in 26 and I was starting from absolute zero, I would ignore almost everything the internet tells beginners to focus on. I would not start by looking at stock charts. I would not begin by researching cryptocurrency trends. I would not obsess over passive income strategies. And I definitely would not start by asking how to get rich quick. Instead, I would begin with one brutal truth. You cannot multiply zero. And most people are trying to invest before they ever learn how to produce serious income. That is backwards. Wealth does not start with investing. Wealth starts with control over cash flow. The first thing I would focus on is increasing my income aggressively, not slightly, not gradually, aggressively. If someone is earning $3,000 per month and managing to save $500, their path to $1 million is painfully slow. But if someone is earning $25,000 per month and saving $10,000, the timeline compresses dramatically. Wealth is not mysterious, it is mathematical. The speed at which you reach $1 million is directly tied to how much surplus cash you can create every single month. So instead of asking how to invest better, I would ask how to earn more. To earn more, I would develop a skill that directly produces revenue for businesses. Businesses do not pay for effort. They do not pay for potential. They do not pay for how motivated you are. They pay for results. So I would learn a skill that is tightly connected to money, sales, paid advertising, appointment setting, high ticket closing. These are not glamorous skills, but they are powerful because they connect directly to revenue generation. If I can help a company make an extra $100, paying me $10,000 becomes an easy decision. That is leverage. And leverage is the foundation of becoming a millionaire. In the beginning, I would not care about passion. I would care about demand. Passion is a luxury that becomes enjoyable once money is stable. But when you are starting from zero, you need a skill that the market already values. Easy skills create competition. Valuable skills create income. So I would spend months mastering one high income skill, practicing it daily, studying case studies, analyzing what works, and applying it in real situations. I would not jump from skill to skill. I would go deep instead of wide. Depth creates expertise. Expertise creates confidence. Confidence increases earnings themselves. My first milestone would not be $1 million. That is too far away and too abstract. My first milestone would be $10,000 per month. Why? Because $10,000 per month changes your identity. It proves that you can generate meaningful income independently. Once you hit $10,000 per month consistently, the next jump to $30,000 per month becomes operational rather than emotional. At that stage, the question is no longer, can I do this? The question becomes, how do I scale this? And that is a completely different conversation. One of the biggest mistakes people make when chasing wealth is starting too many things at once. They try YouTube, drop shipping, crypto trading, freelancing, e-commerce coaching, and affiliate marketing all at the same time. Their focus is divided. Their energy is scattered. Their progress is minimal. If I had become a millionaire in 2026, I would choose one vehicle and commit to it for at least 2 years. Focus creates force. Scattered effort creates frustration. Mastery requires repetition, and repetition requires patience. The vehicle I would choose is a service-based business. It requires almost no startup capital. It produces cash flow quickly. It has high margins. There is no inventory, no warehouse, no manufacturing delay. You sell skill and execution. That makes it one of the fastest ways to generate meaningful income from zero. I would choose a niche that already spends money to grow. Not beginners, not hobbyists, businesses that understand return on investment, dentists offering high-value procedures, coaches selling premium programs, real estate brokers closing significant commissions. These markets understand that investing in growth produces more revenue. Then I would craft one clear, measurable offer, not vague marketing services, not generic social media management, a specific outcome, something like helping a dentist generate 30 booked appointments per month consistently. Specific numbers create clarity, clarity builds trust, and trust increases conversions. People do not buy services, they buy outcomes. When you can clearly articulate the result you deliver, sales become easier. This is where the foundation is built. Increase income aggressively. Master one high-value skill, focus on one vehicle, target one profitable niche, deliver one clear outcome. Becoming a millionaire in 2026 would not begin with complex investing strategies. It would begin with becoming so valuable that generating income becomes predictable. Because once income is predictable and scalable, reaching $1 million becomes a matter of discipline, not luck. Once I had mastered a high-income skill and committed to a service-based vehicle, the next step would not be guessing. It would be building a simple, focused machine designed for one purpose, predictable cash flow. If I had to become a millionaire in 2026, I would not try to be creative. I would try to be effective. Creativity is optional in business. Revenue is not. So I would choose a market that already has money and is already spending that money to grow. The key principle here is simple. Sell to people who can afford results. Too many beginners target struggling startups or individuals who are trying to save money. That is exhausting. Instead, I would focus on businesses where one new client is worth thousands of dollars, dentists performing high-ticket procedures, coaches selling premium programs, agencies offering retainers. When a single customer is worth a significant amount of revenue, the value of generating new business becomes obvious. That makes your offer easier to sell. Once the market is chosen, I would narrow down to one painful, expensive problem, not five problems. Not five problems. Not three services. One, wealth favors simplicity. For example, if I worked with dentists, I would focus only on helping them generate a consistent number of qualified booked appointments every month. That is it. No branding packages, no website redesign, no vague growth strategy. Just one measurable outcome tied directly to revenue. When your offer is specific, your marketing becomes clearer and your sales conversations become shorter. The positioning would be outcome driven. Instead of saying I run ads, I would say we help dentists consistently generate 30% per month. Specific outcomes create authority. Authority reduces resistance. And reduced resistance increases close rates. At the beginning, I would prioritize proof over profit. If I did not yet have testimonials or case studies, I would work with one or two clients for free or on performance-based terms in exchange for documented results. Speed matters more than ego. Once results are proven, pricing can increase confidently. Client acquisition in the early stages would be direct and volume-based. I would not waste time building complex funnels or waiting for organic content to slowly build traction. I would use cold outreach strategically and consistently. Cold email, cold calls, simple, respectful, personalized communication focused on the outcome I deliver. The goal is not to convince everyone. The goal is to find the small percentage who are already interested in growth. Volume creates opportunity. If you send enough quality outreach messages consistently, conversations begin. Conversations lead to appointments. Appointments lead to clients. The next critical piece is fulfillment. This is where most service businesses fail. Selling is exciting, delivering results is demanding. If I promise booked appointments, I must track everything carefully. Cost per lead, cost per booked appointment, show up rate, conversion rate. I would treat fulfillment like a science experiment. Test, measure, optimize. If something is not working, I would adjust quickly instead of blaming the market. Speed of iteration is a competitive advantage. The faster you improve your system, the more predictable your results become themselves. As revenue grows toward $10,000 per month and then toward $30,000 per month, discipline becomes even more important. This is T, the sales. Key stage where many people make their first major mistake. They increase lifestyle before they increase stability. If I had to become a millionaire in 2026, I would resist that temptation completely. Extra income would go back into the business, better tools, better systems, education, process improvement, because income without structure creates stress. Income with structure creates scalability. Once the business consistently produces strong results for clients, referrals begin naturally. As satisfied clients talk, reputation compounds. At this stage, I would begin documenting every process carefully. How clients are onboarded, how campaigns are launched, how performance is reviewed. Documentation turns chaos into repeatability. Repeatability turns effort into leverage, and leverage is what allows income to grow beyond personal time limits. The focus in this phase is not on becoming famous. It is not on building a massive audience. It is on building a massive audience. It is on building a machine that reliably converts skill into cash flow. If that machine produces consistent $30,000 months, the path to $1 million becomes visible because once cash flow is predictable, the goal of this phase is simple. Build a focused, outcome-driven service business that generates serious monthly income with clear systems behind it. Master one niche, deliver one measurable result. Acquire clients consistently, optimize fulfillment relentlessly. Reinvest intelligently. That is how the foundation becomes solid enough to support real wealth. Once the business has generated consistent income, somewhere around $20,000 to $30,000 per month, the strategy must change. The skills that helped you revive and grow in the early stage are not the same skills that will take you to $100,000 per month. At the beginning, you are the engine, you are selling. You are fulfilling, you are solving problems. But if I had to become a millionaire in 2026, I would understand that staying the engine forever caps my income themselves. To scale, I must build a machine that runs without my constant involvement. And the first shift I would make is documentation. Every task that repeats gets written down. Every client onboarding step becomes a checklist. Every campaign launch process becomes a standard operating procedure. Documentation feels boring, but it is powerful. It transforms chaos into systems. And systems are what allow a business to grow beyond the founder's time. If it only works when you're involved personally, it is a job. If it works through documented processes, it becomes a scalable asset. Ethic works through documented processes. It comes 159,000. Most people hire too early or hire the wrong roles. If I were scaling toward $100,000 per month, I would hire in this order revenue roles first. Appointment setters to book qualified calls, closers to convert those calls into clients, fulfillment specialists to deliver the promised results. The logic is simple. Revenue-producing roles pay for themselves. If a closer helps generate $50,000 in new revenue and earns a percentage, the business wins. Hiring should increase output, not just reduce workload. Every hire must have a measurable impact on revenue or retention as the team begins handling execution themselves. Instead of launching ads personally, I review performance met Bricks. Instead of handling every client request, I oversee client success systems. Instead of chasing small improvements, I focus on large bottlenecks. This is a mindset shift. Many founders struggle with letting go. But if the goal is $1 million in net worth, control must turn into coordination, the managing themselves. The founder's time should be spent on decisions that move the entire machine forward, not on tasks that can be delegated. If the business is consistently delivering strong results, raising prices improves profitability without increasing workload. Charging $2,000 per month and charging $5,000 per month for the same outcome changes the entire trajectory. Higher prices often attract more serious clients who value results and commit fully. Instead of chasing volume endlessly, I would focus on positioning the service as premium. Premium positioning increases margins. Higher margins accelerate wealth building. Numbers now become critical. If the goal is $100,000 per month, I reverse engineer it. Suppose the offer is $5,000 per month. That means 20 active clients are needed. If average churn is 10% monthly, 2 new clients must be added each month just to maintain stability. If the close rate is 20%, then 10 calls are required to close 2 clients. If half of booked calls show up, then 20 booked calls are needed. That means lead generation must consistently produce enough qualified prospects to support that pipeline. Scaling is not about motivation, it is about managing metrics themselves. Content and authority also begin to matter more at this level. While early growth can rely heavily on outbound outreach, scaling benefits from inbound interest. Boy, posting educational content, sharing case studies, and demonstrating expertise build trust at scale. When prospects already see authority before speaking with you, sales conversations become smoother and shorter. Authority compounds over time. It reduces friction and increases conversion rates. As revenue approaches $100,000 per month, profit discipline becomes essential. It is easy to confuse revenue with wealth. If expenses rise proportionally with wealth, efficiency must be prioritized. Systems should aim to maintain strong margins while scaling output. Lean teams with clear roles outperform bloated teams with unclear responsibilities. Simplicity scales better than complexity themselves. When the business runs predictably without constant intervention, the founder gains freedom to think long-term. And long-term thinking is what transforms income into wealth, because consistent profit at $100,000 per month creates significant surplus capital. And surplus capital, when managed wisely, leads directly to millionaire status. Scaling to $100 per month is not about working harder. It is about building leverage through systems, people, pricing, and metrics. Once leverage is in place, income becomes predictable, and predictable income makes the path to $1 million clear and controllable. Reaching $100,000 per month in revenue is impressive. But revenue is not wealth. Income is not net worth. And if I had to become a millionaire in 2026, I would make sure I understood that difference clearly. Many people scale business aggressively, experience massive cash flow, and still fail to build lasting wealth because they confuse money coming in with money being kept. The final stage of this blueprint is not about earning more. It is about converting income into assets and protecting them intelligently. The first principle I would follow is separation. Business income must be separated from personal lifestyle. If the business generates $100,000 per month, but $90,000 is being spent, there is no real progress. So I would establish strict allocation rules. A significant percentage of profit would be reinvested into the business to maintain growth and competitive advantage. Another large percentage would go directly into long-term investments. Only a controlled portion would increase lifestyle. Lifestyle growth would always lag behind income growth. That delay creates stability and accelerates compounding. Before investing aggressively, I would build a cash reserve. At least 6 to 12 months of both business and personal expenses would remain liquid and accessible. Cash creates optionality. It allows patience during downturns. Markets fluctuate, clients leave. Without reserves, small disruptions create panic. With reserves, disruptions become manageable. The goal is not just to become a millionaire. The goal is to stay one. Stability matters as much as speed. When it comes to investing, I would prioritize simplicity and consistency over excitement. High income already creates enough volatility. Investments should create stability and steady growth. Broad market index funds offer long-term compounding without constant monitoring. Real estate can provide steady cash flow if purchased based on sound numbers. Acquiring small, profitable businesses within my area of expertise could also create additional streams of predictable income. The key is alignment. Investments should support long-term wealth, not distract from the primary engine that generates cash. One powerful advantage of building a high-income skill-based business is understanding return on investment deeply. That mindset should continue into investing. Every dollar deployed should have a clear reason and expected outcome. Emotional decisions destroy wealth. Strategic decisions multiply it. If I were consistently generating significant surplus cash each month and investing that surplus methodically, reaching $1 million in net worth would become a timeline question rather than a possibility question themselves. Another important principle is resisting ego-driven spending. When income increases rapidly, the temptation to upgrade lifestyle dramatically becomes strong. Larger homes, luxury cars, it grows in accounts and assets long before it appears as publicly. If I had to secure millionaire status, I would intentionally live below my means for several years, even after high income is established. That discipline compounds wealth faster than any single investment strategy themselves. Risk management also becomes critical at higher income levels. Diversifying income streams intelligently can reduce dependence on one source, strengthening legal structures, maintaining proper insurance, and building reliable financial oversight protect against unexpected losses. Wealth is not only about growth, it is also about defense. Every stage of growth introduces new vulnerabilities. Addressing them proactively prevents setbacks that could erase years of progress. Perhaps the most important mindset shift in this final stage is understanding that money is a tool, not the objective. The purpose of becoming a millionaire is not to reach a number, it is to gain control over time, choices, and direction. When assets produce income independent of daily effort, freedom increases, decisions become intentional rather than reactive. That is the real reward. If I follow this entire blueprint, mastering a high-value skill, building a focused service business, scaling it through systems and leverage, converting service income into stable assets, and protecting those assets with discipline, becoming a millionaire in 26 would not rely on luck themselves. It would rely on structure. It would rely on math. It would rely on consistent execution. Wealth is rarely built through one dramatic event. It is built through repeated intelligent decisions over time. The formula is simple but demanding. Increase income aggressively, build systems for scale themselves. If executed with patience and focus, that formula makes $1 million not just achievable, but predictable. That is exactly what I would do if I had to become a millionaire in 2026. No shortcuts, no hype. Just execution, discipline, and long-term thinking